Welcome back to another episode of This Week with Carolina Commits, the show where we look past the stars in the rankings and we evaluate the on-field performance of UNC commits. I'm THL staff writer Brandon P. Joining me today is the director of football recruiting here at Tar Heel Illustrated. That's Miss Dina King. And Dina, we're on week 8, going into week 9 this coming up week. We're coming up to the playoffs, like the end of the season. We're in the last quarter of the season. This is usually where teams are really game planning for each other because the games are really important. So it's really hard. Sometimes it can be really hard to get major production in these weeks because it's starting to get colder. The game planning is getting more stricter. Teams have more to play for. So I'm really interested to see this week who made the list, who was able to put up production despite these conditions. So we're gonna jump right into it. At number 5, we have Javarius Green from Crest High School, who defeated North Gaston 36-0. Can you tell me why did Javarius make the list this week?
Well, a lot of these have been repeat performers on my
Yeah.
list. Javarius is having a really great senior season for Chargers. Crest is one of the top teams in 3A. As you mentioned, teams are, it's almost playoff time. So your big time players are trying to step up and lead the teams to a conference championship and a high playoff seed. So Javarius, 3 passes for 106 yards and a touchdown, and Chris continues to roll.
Yeah. A common theme with Green is catching under 5 passes, but getting over 100 yards. So it's like you can tell like the yards per average is just ridiculous this season. He's really averaging a lot. The next person we have on this list is Jordan Ship from Providence Day High School, who defeated Charlotte Country Day 49-13. Can you tell me why he made the list, Dina?
Just like you mentioned, he caught 4 passes for 130 yards and 2 touchdowns. As we know, Providence Day, most likely the best team in the state of North Carolina with tons of talent there. Big play potential from every time they go out on the field. They're able to do a big play with the talent that they've got over there, Coach Greer with Jordan Ship and Jay Davis, and they got David Sanders there. So just a
Yeah.
huge win for them, and they're rolling, and they look to be probably the favorites to repeat for their state championship.
Yeah, one thing I would say that's impressive about Jordan Ship and Providence Day as a whole is their ability to stay hungry. They've won multiple state titles in a row, but it seems every time I'll see them play, it's like they're playing hard. They play with a hunger, like as if they've never won before. So I think that's a really good characteristic to have for a team, and obviously for someone like Jordan Ship coming into Carolina. Mac Brown always talks about keeping the urgency up. Somebody like that, he's used to winning. He's used to being hunted, so I think they'll bode well for him when he's at UNC. All right. Anyway, the next person we have is quarterback Bryce Baker, another repeat person on the list from East Forsyth. They defeated Parkland 62-7. So why did Bryce make the list this week?
He continues to have an outstanding junior year. He bounced back after the Eagles took a loss last week. He completed 16 of 25 passes for 198 yards with 3 touchdowns, and then he ran one time for 34 yards. So he's showing Coach Matt Brown and Coach Chip Lindsey his total package that he can actually run the ball as well as throw it. So big game for him.
Yeah, and this season, and since Mac Brown has been back at UNC, we've seen how important the quarterback run game is to the Tar Heels. Next person we have on our list, he was number 1 last week. He's number 2 this week. We have Curtis Simpson from Kings Mountain High School, who defeated South Point 28-14. Why did Curtis make the list again, Dina?
He's the only defensive player this week, but he had 10 tackles, 4 tackles for loss, a sack, and a forced fumble in a big game down there for Kings Mountain, who is undefeated as well. I mean, it's just looking like it's going to be a big time matchup when Kings Mountain and Crest face off each other the last weekend of regular season. It's going to be standing room only. I don't know where that game is, but wherever it is, it's going to be a packed house. And Curtis is just, I mention it every week. He just seems unblockable coming off the edge. So just a huge game for him. And as Kings Mountain continues to roll.
Do you know? I know a little preview, but do you know when that game is by any chance?
I think it's the last weekend, the 27th. They
Oh,
use
okay,
a
okay.
lot of the bigger games, the rivalry games, are the last
Yeah,
weekend of the regular season. But I don't know where it's at. What if
yeah,
it's at Crest or Kings Mountain? But if you go to that game, fans, you
yeah,
better
yeah.
get there early.
Yeah. We'll keep you updated. Keep you updated on that one. All right, Dina. And this week, the number one spot goes to a quarterback. Another quarterback on the list. We have Michael Merdinger from Cardinal Gibbs High School, who defeated Balin Jesu 43-28. Can you talk about his performance?
Yeah, he 19 to 36 for 296 yards and 3 touchdowns, and he ran 2 times for 23 yards. Kind of like Bryce Baker, good all around games. Showed that he can run the ball if need so. So a good outing for Michael to bounce back, because he's had some. His team's had some tough games, and now they're up to, I believe, 4-2. They've played some really good teams down there in Florida, so it's good to see him bounce back. So 2 quarterbacks, one in the class of 24 and the other, Bryce Baker, in the 2025 class. So Coach Lindsay should be extremely pleased how his quarterbacks of the future are performing.
Yeah, for sure. You always want to have good production, whether you play on high school or the college level. All right, Dina, this is my favorite session of the podcast. This is where we talk about the games that are coming up this coming week and why UNC fans should be interested in them. And the first game we have this week is Providence Day and Charlotte Christian. And I think UNC fans know why they should be interested in this game.
Yeah, George Shipp having a stellar senior year, and Charlotte Christian is a really good football program. Basically, the Battle of Charlotte. I believe last year that might have been for Charlotte Christian is the last team to beat Providence Day, and then Providence Day went on and really took off and won the state championship last year. So it's at Charlotte Christian, but Providence Day's been playing at another level. Of course, with Jordan Shipp, and then if you do attend, they have a lot of highly ranked kids. You have Channing Goodwin, who's going to Michigan. Jaden Davis is going to Michigan. So David Sanders, who's one of the top offensive linemen, maybe even the player in the class of 2025. Leo Delaney, who's also a offensive lineman, who is one of the top linemen in the class of 2026. Coach Jad Greer has a lot of talent there, and I'm probably leaving some guys off, but his team's
Sure.
loaded, so that will be it. That's why I picked that game.
All right, the next game we have
And Brody Barnhart, who's going to NC State, he's another kid that that stars for Providence Day.
The next game we have on our list, we have Buford at Mill Creek down in the state of Georgia. What name should UNC fans look out for in that one?
Well, that's a battle between three UNC commits. Tyshawn White there at Buford. They're going to be traveling to Mill Creek High School to face Carolina commits Aiden Banfield, Jaden Patterson. Both teams are undefeated. Buford is a national powerhouse that is loaded, like from top to bottom. You saw them at Mallard Creek earlier this year. Mill Creek, They are a really good, solid program too. I mean, Caleb Downs played there, who started Josh Downs' younger brother, who starred for them last year, and who's at Alabama. So a big time matchup down there in the Peach State that should cause a lot of eyes to be on that game.
Yeah, and the last game that we have today, we're gonna go stay in the state of North Carolina. We have West Forsyth versus Davie County. Can you talk about that game?
West Forsyth will cross the Yadkin River to play Davie County in a very, very big Central Piedmont 4A game. Desmond Jackson of West Forsyth is big offensive lineman that is committed to North Carolina. Um, but this is very big in their conference race. Davie County, they have been really good. They gave East Forsyth their only loss of the year so far. West Forsyth's coming off a loss against Reagan, but these two are kind of rivals, and you can throw the record books out. This will be a really tough matchup and uh, entertainment matchup there in the suburbs of Moxville, up towards Bermuda Run. Advance is what I call it. A lot of people would think it would be advance, but here in my part of the state, we call it advance.
Well, there you have it, folks. This is a great place to stop. For Tar Heel Illustrated, I've been Brandon P. She's been Dina King. Thank you for watching.
Yes, guys, we are so excited to be partnered with Underdog Fantasy. And we decided to partner with Underdog because it's the easiest place to play fantasy sports, and it's also the fastest growing fantasy app in the industry right now as well. And Underdog Fantasy has so much to offer, including their Pick'em game. And in Pick'em, you pick whether your favorite players will have a higher or lower stat total in this week's game for a chance to win big. It's so easy to play. Just pick 2 to 5 stats of your favorite players and choose whether they'll go higher or lower. And you can 20x your money by going just 5 for 5. They also have a Best Ball Mania. If you think you know football, you need to check this one out. This year's Best Ball Mania has $15 million in total prizes up for grabs, with the winner taking home $3 million. So sign up today with the promo code HEEL, HEEL, and get your first deposit doubled up to $100. Visit UnderdogFantasy.com or find them in the App Store. And don't forget to register with that promo code HEEL to get your first deposit doubled up to $100. Must be 18 plus and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms do apply. And if you're concerned with your play, call 1-800-522-4700 or visit ncpgambling.org. Back to the show.